I would like to ask if you are proud of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I am. You know, I went to the world premiere the other night in Los Angeles, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. And it wasn't because of the audience's reaction. I think it was really because after 2 years of making this movie and really watching it only from a critical standpoint, like talking about what was wrong with this or what was wrong with that and trying to make it as good as possible, I got to sit in a theater next to my mom and watch this movie and enjoy it as an audience member. And I'm like, wow, I really like my own movie, so I am proud of it.
And how challenging is it to make a movie based on a comic book?
Well, in this case, I think it was pretty easy. Not easy, but it wasn't that challenging, simply because the characters are so great to begin with, and then I had a lot of freedom because nobody knew who these characters were, frankly. So I was able to do a lot of different things cinematically and not have to worry about too many people out in the audience getting mad about this or that being changed.
Before you were working with lower budgets productions,
Yeah.
How is it to work with big budget? Is it easier or more challenging?
It's easier. I say the only way it's more challenging with a movie like this is that it takes place over 2 years, so it's a marathon, not a sprint. But in terms of actually making the movie, you get so much more freedom and you have so many people around you that are so talented, it makes things a lot easier in a lot of ways.
What would you like the audience to take away after watching the movie?
I think that if people walk out sort of loving the magic of cinema, feeling a little bit better about life, and maybe loving the person that sits next to them a little bit more when they walk out of the theater than they did before they walked into the theater, then that's the best thing I could possibly hope for.
It happened yesterday because I was sitting next to two girls, and in one moment they hold their hands during the movie, so it's working.
Oh, that's awesome, man, that's perfect.
And do you have any favorite scenes or bloopers from the shoot?
My favorite blooper, or sort of blooper, is when we were doing the dance-off scene. We didn't tell Dave Bautista, but we had Ronan after, when Quill challenges him to a dance, all of a sudden Lee Pace, who plays Ronan, throws down his hammer and says, "You're on, buddy." And he starts doing this big dance, and then Gamora starts dancing, and then they throw it over to Dave, and he has to dance, and he's very embarrassed. And my favorite hobby is embarrassing Dave Bautista.
Oh my God.
It is.
And this is a one and done movie, or if the audience will ask, like, we need the second part, will you willing to do it? And what would you like to see there?
Yeah, well, I hope that we get a chance to do it again. And from the inception of it, there's been plans for where things are going, and I have a lot of questions that I need to answer that I know the answers to and nobody else does. So I hope we get a chance to do another one. I hope we get a chance to see more of those 5 characters, as well as Yondu and Nebula and other characters that are in the movie.
And I have to ask about the music, because the music is amazing and it's like changing the whole character of the scenes. How did you come up with the idea of the music?
I'm lucky. Yeah, I just was inspired. And when I started writing the screenplay, the first thing that came to me was the idea of the Sony Walkman that Peter Quill had. That was his only emotional attachment to Earth and to the mother he lost. And so all those songs that you see in the movie were actually written into the script, and I think of them as the emotional spine of the movie. And I think it makes the movie a lot more interesting and unique, and yet at the same time more comfortable for people because the pop songs are familiar in unfamiliar territory.
And my last question, what would be your favorite saying from the movie?
My favorite saying from the movie? Oh, wow. I'm sure there's something, I like when Drax says metaphor, I guess.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah, thank you.